Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. If you are new here, and some of you may be, welcome to the show, welcome to the channel. We will be talking about Sophie today. I've been sent some information to kind of give an update and answer some questions, and that is why we are starting the stream earlier even than the hearing. The hearing is scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Central Time. I will be honest, I do not know if the hearing will occur. If the hearing occurs, we will watch it. If it does not occur, we won't. There have been some very big changes that have happened in this case, and that is why I don't know if they will occur or not. But I did say that I would try to stream any of the hearings that were publicly available for this case, and I am going to stick up to that if we can. But I want to go ahead and get started in just a minute as people filter in on answering some questions that have been presented to me about this case. A Melissa reached out to me through my Facebook page and asked some questions and asked me to address some of these things. Now, I have to have a it's not true. I have to give a couple disclaimers here. I don't have the actual documents. So what I have to do is go based on what's listed on the court tracking website and try and surmise or estimate or guess what exactly is happening. And so all of this is to be taken as a best effort to understand based on the information that's publicly available. Obviously, if there were actual documents, I could tell you so much more simply what's going on. But we will do what we can here. I am going to start opening this. Oh boy. We've got some nasty stuff that's been happening in this case over the Labor Day weekend. I had heard a little bit about it, but without, you never know exactly what's going on the internet. So I'm going to use the information that's been given to me, and this information is sourced primarily from the father and his posts in a Facebook group, and then some other images that were sent to me about the court listening thing with specific sort of questions. What are these things? So I will try and cover all of that. Give me just a minute. Sorry, I wasn't sure I was able to do this stream until just about 30 minutes ago. We're well ahead of my normal time, and school stuff is starting up for my kids, so I apologize for not having everything fully ready yet. Someone did ask why last night's stream was unlisted, and I will tell you, because this has been kind of the subject of every sort of live stream that's been going on for the past couple weeks, is that all of them are now being unlisted, except these Sophie ones I'm actually keeping up because they're fully legally themed. But the other ones are all unlisted. They are moved into a specific unlisted live stream channel or playlist for each month. So there's a September 2020 live stream archive playlist that is publicly available. You can see all of them unedited. They're all there, but they're unlisted because it messes with channel growth and stuff like that. Long story, not really the right stream for it. But It's there. If you just go visit Rekieta Law on YouTube, you'll see that playlist with all the streams. Okay. And people should get used to that announcement because it's probably going to be present in just about every stream for the next 27 years as people come in and ask about it. All right. So let's start with some updates from the weekend, and we'll start with the writings of the father, and then I will try to explain what this stuff means in the context of what happened. I will warn you, it's the alleged activity is horrible. The alleged activity is absolutely horrible, and so steel yourselves. Steel yourselves. Okay. Let me pull it up. Here we go. This is from Michael Long. This is Sophie's father. I guess I should do this. If you're not aware, Sophie is a 9-year-old girl in Texas. She has become the center. She's been put at the center of a custody battle between Michael and Kelly Long. They have been divorced, I believe, since 2017. But recently, some massive stuff has come to light, and it has brought the attention of a whole lot of people onto this case. All right. Sophie has alleged that her mother's boyfriend is harming her. That came out by some videos that went viral that were released, I believe, by the father. And then what followed has been a family law circus that is hard to describe. But what happened at the last hearing that we had just before the weekend, I believe it was Wednesday of last week, Sophie was permitted, along with her other siblings, to go visit Michael, to have a 3-day visit over the Labor Day weekend with Michael. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Part of the day Friday, part of the day Monday. So it comes out to 3 days in family law terms. Okay. That was a very moving moment, and it was wonderful. Michael got to see his kids again. This is all after the alleged abuse, and I believe the kids were in the mother's custody at the time. Doesn't really matter. They went into Michael's custody for the weekend. Now, over the weekend, some crazy stuff happened, and that's what Michael is talking about here. He says, I would like to personally thank the agencies involved with protecting children and assuring their safety in our absence through this process. You've gone above and beyond to show how credible your words and assurances are. Congratulations on completely removing any last inkling of hope I had in your ability to protect her. He obviously was being sarcastic at the beginning. She wasn't safe. You said she was. You either lied or you were delivered a script from an authority above. So what am I to do? You failed my daughter. You failed my little girl who trusted me when I told her that police were good and that we weren't the only ones who cared about her. You failed your city. You failed yourself by promising an oath you couldn't keep. How do you sleep at night knowing that this is going on? So who's in charge here? Who said she was safe? I want explanations or resignations now and not behind closed doors to the public you serve. Attention, Frisco Mayor Jeff Cheney, Frisco Police Chief David Shilson, Child and Family Protective Services Supervisor Martin Lopez. These pictures appear to be from the hospital where Sophie was taken following the alleged incident. Now, the alleged incident involving Sophie is hard to describe. Sophie was at a hotel, I believe, with her mother, and she was allegedly, I'll keep saying allegedly, assaulted by 4 men. One of them is the mother's boyfriend, who she said she could identify by the smell. And that is Jake Bellington. Jake Bellington is the boyfriend. Jacob, I believe, is his name. And just as a brief aside, it is very, very common for trauma victims to have a distinct smell-related memory during trauma. So if you're wondering why that smell is an important characteristic, if you talk to victims of abuse, of sexual abuse specifically, you would find that to be something that they remember distinctly. She was unable to identify the other 3 men. She was also not able to identify Jacob by his appearance, apparently. That's kind of inferred from the fact that she identified him by the smell. It is not known whether they were hooded or masked or something, or she was, but that is the alleged activity. Not to dwell on that too much. This was sort of uncovered as the dad was on a Zoom call with Sophie, and Sophie he asked if she was safe, and a male voice was heard off the camera instructing her to say she's okay. Apparently the male voice was also heard off camera saying, "I can't take this fucking crying." While she was doing this, she was sending non-verbal signals to her father through the call, and indicating that there were four men. I don't know the exact timeline of all of this. Apparently the police checked on Sophie, and even went so far, I believe, this was, let's see, I think we have, hold on. The police department actually issued a statement on Twitter, and I have it here. Let me pull this up. Very odd for a police department to issue a statement here at all. Thank you, by the way, to Siren Jag for sending me this thing. So this is on August 31st. Okay, so this wasn't over the weekend. Never mind. My apologies. I thought this was over the weekend, but the Frisco police did comment earlier on the safety of the child. However, that being said, I believe there was also a statement issued by them to the father that she was safe over the weekend. And that's the reference in this part here. You said she was safe. You said she was safe. They allegedly checked on the hotel room, but they did not apparently go into the hotel room, and the mother came out of the hotel room to talk to them. Just a mess. I don't know how to say it other than that. What followed over the weekend in the court case is what's been interesting about all of this, rather than simply horrifying. Let me back up a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to give all of the context to this, and I'm kind of catching up on it as we go. But there was a restraining order against Jacob for Sophie. Jacob was not permitted to have any contact with Sophie prior to this incident that had happened, I believe, on August 20th. Okay? Nor were any other unrelated males permitted to have any contact with Sophie. So her being even in the presence of another male than her own relations is a violation of the protective order. So if the mother even had any male around at all, like a plumber, an electrician. It doesn't matter. This is a temporary restraining order that prevented any contact with an unrelated male person and Sophie. Sophie would have to be removed from that situation. So, that is part of the issue here, even ignoring the presence of the alleged abuse. That is an issue here. Okay. All right. Moving on. There was also a gag order put in place on this case, and we're going to talk about that now. In the initial Zoom hearing that went viral, the judge issued an injunction enjoining all parties from posting anything related to the minor children at all, and saying that any posts that were made about the minor children would be considered to not be in the best interest of the child. Okay, that was the original judge. A big development over this weekend is this judge has recused herself and fled the state of Texas. I assume that the judge will have fled the state of Texas, citing fears for personal safety, because this has become such a lightning rod on social media. And apparently, defense counsel, or counsel for the mother, and I would assume the judge have received death threats. So this judge who issued all these orders is out. We will be talking about that going forward. But the judge is out and has allegedly left Texas. I don't actually know if the judge has left Texas, but that is what I have heard. Okay, that is the information that is out there. But this injunction on communication, this is actually kind of interesting. If you follow this channel, you'll see something. You may notice something here. There's a motion to dismiss cause of action to enjoin speech under Chapter 27 of the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code. This is a TCPA motion. Actually, a TCPA motion to dismiss to remove the injunction on posting information about the children. Now, the judge tried to pare down that order in the most recent hearing, saying that limiting it to issues of the child's health or issues about the child's abuse. But this is kind of an interesting sort of use of the Texas Citizens Participation Act. A TCPA, if you are not familiar, is what's called an anti-SLAPP motion. And that in Texas, it is potentially possible to use it against governing entities who provide some sort of punishment or sanction or damages for speech-related conduct. If it is improper, if there's no prima facie showing for the injunction, they would have to dismiss it, and then the filing party would be entitled to fees. Now, I don't know who filed this, but I believe it was likely filed by the father. There was a bunch of stuff that was filed all at once on the 8th, which was yesterday, and it was likely filed over the weekend. Then with Labor Day, that stuff all files in the system early morning on the 8th. That's how electronic filing tends to process and show. So there's a motion to dismiss the injunction on speech under the Texas Citizens Participation Act, which is just an interesting factor. But Melissa had asked me what this was, and that's what this appears to be. Now, again, without seeing the documents, I can't say for sure. We're going just off the comments from the court docket. But that's what that appears to be. And very, very interesting stuff. If this is successful, the injunction on speech would be lifted entirely, and the father would be entitled to recover for any attorney's fees that were spent getting this thing removed. And it should be. It should be removed. I will say what I've said the entire time. The judge in this case was far exceeding her authority in attempting to restrict speech of a parent about their child. Especially when the parent is trying to expose the abuse of their child and is powerless to do anything about it elsewhere. That is one of the most basic rights and one of the most basic relationships understood in the concepts of liberty, and that is the parent-child relationship, and then the idea of being able to speak about your own self and the people who are under your charge or care. So it should only be restricted in the most extreme circumstances. And it is hard to imagine a situation where saying exposing the abuse of your child is somehow more damaging to the child than the abuse itself. So that's what is going on here, though. There's an application for a temporary restraining order in the existing family case. Emergency motion for temporary restraining order. I have heard that the father was able to get sort of an emergency hearing and keep custody. I don't know how true that was. But I believe that is on the basis of the alleged activities that were going on, the hospital visit. Finally, they've got, this mounting evidence, and the father was able to get temporary custody, but they have also applied for a temporary restraining order. I would assume that since there's already a restraining order at issue in the case against, I believe, the father, this is now attempting to restrain the mother. But I have to go on an inference here. It was a hearing in chambers from, which is what Coding Roses has said. That's what I heard as well. But again, all carefully couching this, and this is what I've heard, and I can't verify any of this information other than the rumor mill right now. All right. There was a temporary order right here on the 7th, and that is likely the result of that in chambers hearing additional temporary orders in suit affecting the parent-child relationship. And this is likely where Michael was given a temporary full custody pending some hearings based on the allegations. This is the order to recuse, voluntary recusal. This is the judge, I believe, recusing herself. It is possible that someone else has recused themselves and that the judge is doing that, but we do know there is a new judge appointed to that, and I believe I have a picture of that coming up. We have the petitioner, probably the father, motioning to modify the temporary orders, motion to remove counselor, and for the appointment of a psychologist. There was a counselor, appointed to this. Obviously they are not thrilled or satisfied with what has happened in this case. Motion for substitution of counsel. Counsel being the attorney. Now, I don't know if this is the county attorney. I have also heard that the defendants, or the defendant, I keep calling the mother the defendant because she seems terrible. I do not know, but I have heard that the attorney for the mother has also resigned from this case. I don't have full confirmation of that. There's a request for a release of records that has come through. The new judge is Judge Snipes. Judge Snipes will be taking over the case, and there's a docket entry here that says no matters are to be heard by anyone except Judge Snipes. If you're familiar with this case, if you've been following it, the initial judge, or I shouldn't say, she was the initial judge, then she wasn't present for some of the hearings. A judge was sitting in visitation on her behalf. She issued some orders in this case that seemed to have caused a ruckus and has led to a lot of this. Again, putting together a family law case from outside information is tough, but it appears that initially Michael Long had full custody of Sophie and the siblings, and that at some point that was modified, and that may have been done by the judge sitting in visitation. I don't know that backstory, but the full custody order, I believe, was initially granted in 2017 by the judge who has now recused herself. But there was another judge that came in some videos were presented to that judge, and the new judge did not review that evidence while making rulings. And this is, you know, part of the problem that we've had in this is that there appears to be some disparate actions by different judges. So the new entry going forward is that all matters will be heard by Judge Snipes, only this judge, which is good news, because at least you'll have consistency and you'll have the entire record being put before one judge as opposed to multiple judges and then them missing something or whatever. We have a request for a citation. This was a question was asked, what is this basically? A citation in this case is service of process by the court, typically done through a sheriff or something like that, or maybe Frisco PD. But they have asked for service of the citation in the case, service of some sort of update, probably the motion, probably the temporary orders, things like that will be at issue there. The other thing that happened yesterday is subpoenas were issued to all of these people: Detective Nessa McFarland, Carrie Wigginton, Chelsea Deal. This is the CPS worker. I believe Carrie may also be involved with CPS. Melanie Chase may be involved with CPS, or maybe one of the counselors. And then Courtney Chalmers as well. So these people have all been subpoenaed. I do not know if that is for today's hearing. We will hopefully find out what that is for. I do have the page up. I don't know if, I'm hoping that if we get a notification that'll pop up. But there's not like, they don't schedule out and throw out the link to the live stream. It just kind of goes up. But as soon as that live stream is up, we will go ahead and we will go ahead and take a peek at it and listen and all of that good stuff. And hopefully we will actually have that court hearing today. What does not DC issued mean? I don't actually know, because I don't practice in Texas, but let me it's probably just a, we'll see if I can find out what it actually means. But it's it just has to do with how the subpoena goes out. I don't know. It has to do with their filing system. And since I'm not familiar, I couldn't actually tell you. I apologize. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not district court issued, which means the subpoenas will be so these are all listed as issued in the name of the state of Texas. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh my goodness, I got 1 second. Give me just a moment. I have to get my own kids to stop yelling. It's very, very loud right outside my door. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Sorry about that. I'm going to put on, well, I guess headphones don't matter until we actually get something here. But let me go through the chats, and I will try and address any questions as they come up. But that's the gist of what is happening here. There's a lot of stuff going on I don't, and I'm hoping that the hearing itself will actually clarify some of it. Okay, so we've got a couple things on here as well that are not listed. There is a petition for a writ of habeas corpus, and that is, I'm thinking that may be filed by the mom. A petition for a writ of habeas corpus in a Texas family law hearing tends to say that someone is in possession of a child in violation of a court order or in violation of the rights of the other parent. And so they would file a petition for the writ of habeas corpus to have the child returned. Now, if there was a closed chambers hearing that modified an order, and especially if that was done ex parte due to an emergency for the immediate well-being of the child, the mother will be arguing that that is an invalid order, that is, or that she was not informed of it, and that the child needs to be returned to her in accordance with the existing parenting time order. So that is a possibility of what's going on there. But again, it's really tough to know. It looks like there is a, here, I'll pull this up for you guys. Looks like there is a new attorney listed for the mother, Kelly Long. We've got David Rootson Jr. from the Rootson Law Firm. That is not who was representing her the other day on the hearing. I don't know if it's the same firm or not, but it appears to be a new attorney. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. Here's the new stuff. Response to petitioner's emergency motion to deny petition for writ of habeas corpus and request for sanctions. So they had filed their petition for writ of habeas corpus. They had sent they have an emergency motion to deny the petition. That's probably from the father, and a request for sanctions. And that was based on that would likely be based on the existing order, and a petition for a writ would be frivolous. Now they've amended it. Now they have a response to that in here. And then first amended emergency motion to deny petition for writ of habeas corpus and request for sanctions. We've got a lot of stuff going on, obviously. I'll go back here, though. I believe we have... there was correspondence sent yesterday. We do have the temporary restraining order hearing scheduled for 1:30. I don't know if we're actually going to have it. They're often late. So it would not be surprising to see it start, 10 minutes late or so. Woo! Can you post the case number in the chat? Sure. Case number is right here. I will copy and paste it. All right, let me answer. Let me go through these super chats, see if there are any questions in them. Michael Rule says, just watched my first 50 minutes of Coronas of recording from That Umbrella Guy's live stream. In my opinion, Family Court isn't ready for the internet. It's not. It's absolutely not. And it's great that Family Court is being exposed to the internet. Family Court is a roving disaster of injustice on a daily basis. Sophie's case is public, but it's not rare. It's not rare. It shouldn't ever happen. And it's certainly not rare enough. So, the public accessibility of the courts is critical to our system of justice. And it has not been honored. And we see here, because of that, a child has been routinely and repeatedly hurt. 200 Watt Studio says, Sarah, the lawyer time. Heart, get her on soon, Nick. Agrilith says, late and. Caleb Lamb writes, thank you, Nick. Your rants give me joy. Tet says, what in the hell? You're on and the sun's up. I know, it's very weird. I typically stream late at night. Yellow Flash 2 says the lengths family court will go to protect mothers is disgusting. The mother is clearly a POS, yet they went all out to protect them. It's disgusting. The presumption of motherhood is so ingrained in the American legal system that it's awful. I don't know how else to word that. It's a terrible system. It's something that, and some legislatures, to be fair, have been trying to undo it, but yeah, you can't undo the sociological aspect of it. Okay. Joshua Vidrine says, glad to catch a live stream at work where I have power and Wi-Fi. The hurricane force winds killed the power to my house, and it might not get fixed until Friday. Good luck to my fellow Utahns out there. Oh, man, that sucks. Jamie Moodley says, John 1135. And Yellow Flash 2 says, did they test the mother for drugs? I am unaware of whether or not they tested the mother for drugs. I have heard an allegation that the mother and Jacob were doing cocaine in the presence of the minor children, or at least in the presence of Sophie. So there's that. Oh, it's important to, let's see, one other aspect of this case that Melissa informed me of was that let's see, how do I word this? The police had suggested to the dad that they were pressing charges against the mother and the grandmother, the maternal grandmother, for the abuse of Sophie. That I have not seen any evidence that that is true. That may have been a lie. That may have been a lie from the police. And, I try not to be too negative, but police can lie. And do often. I hate to say that, but they do. And this should let people know this type of stuff is when you're talking about police as a lawyer, it gets really testy for some people, because we will tell you not to trust the police. We will tell you not to talk to the police. There are reasons for that. Certainly, there are some cases where you need a police officer. You get mugged, you get robbed, whatever. You have to make police reports. In this case, they really do need the police reports even to back up their case. But you can't count on them for safety all the time. And it's unfortunate. It doesn't mean that cops are bad. It just means that their jobs are really, really complicated. And you should never rely on them for your own personal well-being or the well-being of your children. So, that's what I have to say there. Can I post the link directly to the case? I can. Also, I believe Sheila Ahmad on my channel has been posting that link, but here's the judicial records of that case. So I am waiting to see a live stream anywhere or a link to the live stream. We'll keep monitoring this for a little bit. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat. You do not have to super chat to get your question answered. Of course, any of them are appreciated, but that's not what any of this is about. So just tag me if you have a question in the chat, and I will try and answer them as I am able to do so. RW Bimby says, have Funimation investigate Sophie case. Ignore dad, mom, and pedo. Go after Vic. Come on. Come on. No jokes. No jokes allowed. I'm going to have a judge enjoin jokes. I will have this judge enjoin jokes. But why is there no physical evidence of all of these claims? There may actually be now. There were tests being done on Sophie. There were tests being done on Sophie earlier, and they were waiting on results. And I believe that those hospital photos here, down at the bottom, were indicative of The stuff that I saw about the stay at the hospital, which was part of a live stream that Michael was doing, indicated that they had gotten some results that cataloged some of the abuse, but they haven't released those publicly. But I believe they were waiting for results on tests. And actually, the dad had taken Sophie to a couple different doctors, I assume, to try and get results based on what was being alleged. And the mother and the judge attempted to, well, the mother attempted to stop him from taking her to see doctors. No, you did not mishear me on that. The mother attempted to stop the father of a child from taking the child to see doctors. And there was, I believe, at least part of the initial temporary order, an actual order restricting the father from taking the child to see doctors. So that's how messed up these orders have been. That is an extraordinary remedy. That is an extraordinary remedy. To prevent anyone from taking a child to see a doctor is something that is so rarely done, and should, in my opinion, should never, ever be done. But that's an extraordinary remedy. Oh, let me turn on the bell for this, just in case we see the stream come on. Can the mother be charged in all of this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, if they show that she was complicit in abuse, she can go straight to prison and then to hell for all I care. The accusation was doctor shopping. It doesn't matter. Parents should always have a right to take their child to a doctor for the interest of their safety. Period. If you lose legal custody of your child, you are not technically able to make certain medical decisions on their behalf. But you have to realize that statement doesn't actually hold up very well under the scrutiny of reality, because legal decisions about your child we're talking chronic care treatment. We're talking about medical decisions involving different types of ongoing medications, for example, long-term allergy treatments, stuff that is more of a, I don't want to call it elective, because it's not elective procedures, but it's something where you have more discretionary say. Like, you can just turn down treatment for some stuff because the treatment isn't, the condition isn't life-threatening or severely affecting someone's safety. They can restrict that, and that is often something called legal custody in Minnesota. It's called different things elsewhere, but the right to medical decision-making is it. What they have a real hard time doing is saying that someone cannot bring a child to a doctor for their safety, because the child can't bring themselves to the doctor. And so that order becomes very, very dangerous. If a parent is questioning whether or not they can bring their child to a doctor for the immediate health and well-being of the child, then they might not do something that would endanger the child. And so that's, or they might do something that would endanger the child by not acting. So very, very extraordinary remedy, and should not have any place in a case with alleged abuse, in my opinion. Has the court or judge made any public statements about their mistake? Not to my knowledge. What are your feelings about faith-based healing where both parents refuse child to be treated by medical doctors? I'm not a fan of faith-based healing. I'm a man of strong faith, but you need to get out of here, lady. What's up? Sure. Okay. Close my door, please. Thanks. I am a man of faith. I believe in a lot of stuff that some people would consider wacky, although I do believe in the power of modern medicine. So I'm not a fan of faith healing. So, can the dad rally support now that the judge has yeeted out of the state of Texas? The dad is technically still under the order of whatever the court has done. That does not mean that the order will stand up to constitutional scrutiny. It does not mean that the order is valid. And the dad, you know, in some cases, and I would say a case where you believe the health of your child is directly impacted by an order. In some cases, you challenge an order of the court, or you challenge something of the court by violating the order or by violating a statute. That is between the father and his attorneys to deal with. That is not my place to discuss the propriety of that, but it is a strategy employed by many attorneys and clients. And also, if something seems flagrantly and blatantly unconstitutional, you roll the dice. I mean, if it's my kid, and some judge orders me to stop talking about my kid on the internet, yeah, come take my keyboard from my hands, and you'll be met, with a shotgun on the way. You can't stop me from talking about my own child and the safety of my child. That's our First Amendment right. It's fundamental to who we are. Let's see. Has the mother been psychologically evaluated? I believe I heard that both parents had some sort of evaluation done on them. I don't know if it was done by a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or just a counselor. So I don't know the answer to that, but I believe they had said that some sort of evaluation was done for them. J. Tem says he has a history of domestic abuse, though, so this could all be a setup. It is getting so extreme and crazy. Who has a history of domestic abuse? The father? That may be. And if the question then is, who is the domestic abuse against? The way domestic abuse laws work is if you are living under the same roof as someone, even a roommate, for example, and you get into a physical altercation, at least in Minnesota, and I believe it's the same in Texas, someone living under the same roof or in the same household as you is considered domestic for the purposes of domestic abuse. But if it's the mom, I can comment on this a little bit. You will often see custody disputes try and raise the specter of abuse because of actions between a mother and father, or interactions between a mother and father, and they try to raise the specter of abuse about children. Courts are not allowed to consider the abuse between a mother and father typically in regards to the children, the parent-child relationship, unless that abuse was done like specifically in front of the child, if they were exposed to that sort of thing and there was some sort of indication of potential trauma from it. But if you just say that, the dad and the mom had domestic abuse issues, or even flat out that the dad beat the mom, the remedies to that are to have mediation, like typically a police officer, in interactions between mother and father, not to prevent the children from seeing either parent. The way family law works is that the parent-child relationship is separate from the mother-father relationship, or from the father-father or mother-mother relationship as it is now. You can't, if the parent is not a danger to the child, then the parent has a right to the child. And that makes a lot of people very, very uncomfortable. But you gotta realize what is going on in allegations of domestic abuse between parents who are getting divorced. It is a weapon. And whether or not it's true, and it may be, may not be, I don't know. But it is a weapon that is used in these sort of proceedings to get some sort of prospective advantage in a court case. Even something that was innocent can be turned into something nefarious. So it's a mess. And that's why courts don't do that. Now, if there is some sort of indication that the abuse is done in front of the child or in relation to the child and that the child was put in danger, like if the dad is just a rampaging maniac, and that, would therefore endanger everyone around, that would be a different story. Without knowing the details of the abuse, it's hard to say. Outside of what should be done, what would you personally do in the father's position? I would take the child. I would take the child, and it would be very hard to find me and the child, and I would be represented through counsel. I don't, until there was a recognition that there was something done to protect the child's safety and something specific. And if that means forever violating the law, I mean, as a father, what would you do? I don't know. Go live in the woods of Bolivia if you have to. In this case, that could be happening as well, and that is why he went to the media, because the findings where he was lying. I'm curious to see anything that suggests that the father is a danger to Sophie. I haven't seen it yet. I would be surprised if there was any evidence presented in court that the father was a danger there, because it hasn't come out yet, and this is a very public fight. This fight has gone very, very public. I guess it wouldn't entirely knock me off my feet, but I would be very curious to see that. I'm surprised it's not out already. The hearing is not live. The court removed the Facebook page for Sophie. That is, did the court go to Facebook to remove it? That would be amazing. That would be, and again, that would be very extraordinary. Okay, there's a couple more chats here. Agrilith says, so Casey Anthony isn't so bad now. Now let's hold on a minute on that one. Casey Anthony wins worst mother of the century, I think. Or just murderer, one of those two. Some nobody says, can a court remove mom's rights to Sophie forever? Yes. They could also remove the dad's rights to Sophie. Well, I mean, until Sophie's 18. Once the child reaches the age of majority, it would be an extraordinary remedy to have some sort of restraining order go beyond that time. Now, what would maybe happen would be Sophie would be able to petition at the time she was 18 for a further restraining order, but that would be up to her. Zephael sent a thumbs up. You can find it on the Stand With Sophie Instagram page. All right, let me see if I can. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the Stand With Sophie Instagram page. Just a moment. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Stand With Sophie Facebook page has been removed by the court. Okay. So that's here. Posted. This was just 20 minutes ago. Looks like hearing is not live. Take away the Facebook page for all I care, but at least give us good news. These kids do not have to go back to their mother. So that is, we'll see. I'll wait a little bit longer on it, but it looks like, I mean, this would be a half hour on temporary restraining order with a brand new judge. I think it's likely that it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Ninja Work 111 says, Mom has evidence leading to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. Well, RIP to that. RIP to that. Well, it's really unfortunate that we will not see the hearing. Hopefully, we will get some information about this, about the case coming after the hearing. It is very frustrating to see a court shut down speech like that, and that should not happen. It shouldn't happen. But even if the dad is in the wrong, it shouldn't happen. Because we should be able to speak about our children, period. The Instagram page is not run by the family. Let's see. Who is this YouTube channel here? Oh, that's the court YouTube channel. Okay. So that's what we've got. I don't know what this is. Sophie's grandpa has a message for a few followers. Ken's counseling couch says there will be a recording of the hearing released after the hearing is over. A party is apparently recording it, and it will be released. Confirmed via Stand with Sophie backup Facebook page. Okay. Well, we'll have to see how that goes. Let's see. I wonder if we will... I wonder if I can find the Stand with Sophie backup Facebook page. If anyone does have a line to anyone in... Which one is it? Oh, Stand with Sophie backup. Anyone who has a line, if you happen to be in this audience, or if they happen to see this message, that has a line to, anyone involved in the case, or who has access to any of the information, who's looking for someone to release anything, please have them get in contact with me. I will protect their confidentiality. I have several options available to do that, and I would love to be able to get more information out to the public on this. Wouldn't what be illegal, JTEM? The recording of the video? I don't know. Only if there's a specific order preventing them from doing that, and even that has suspicious, we have to be very suspicious of any of those orders. Oh, it's Ken Jennings. Sounds good, buddy. Please keep me updated. 200-watt Studio says, what about Sarah? Sorry, friend. Doesn't look like Sarah will be on today. Maybe on the recording. Logo says, remember when Gary Plausch killed his son's abuser in front of police and had to do community service? Times sure have changed. Look at Annalise. Annie Elsie. Annie Elise. Jeez. On Instagram. That's who runs the backup page. Second. Oh, it's this 10 to life chick. Gotcha. Well, guys, I don't really know exactly what to do without having that video, without having a live feed to go through. I would happily, like I said, happily answer any questions that people have. You can also, hit me on Twitter if you want. If you don't want to ask on here, that's fine, or email or whatever. I will try to respond to them as they come in. I am possibly going to get a Texas family law practitioner on to discuss the case, but I've been trying to get my hands on some of the documents themselves to really be able to analyze what's going on. That's why I am saying, if anybody has a line to any anybody with documents in this case and would like to confidentially release them, I can work with that. And then I have someone who may be able to really assist. It is not someone who's ever been on my channel, and they have been a Texas family law practitioner for a very long time. So I would love to do that. Also, there are, various therapists and counselors that I have contacts with, and we could talk about any of that stuff. But I am following this case and happy to try to bring justice and safety to Sophie, whatever that means. And I think that's one thing we all need to be cautious about here, because it's really easy to be immediately on the side of the party with the biggest allegations. It is really easy to be on the party with the side of the allegations. In this case, that is the father. It's also really easy to be opposed to the injustices of family court and how they favor mothers. That doesn't necessarily mean that Michael is in the right and that Kelly is in the wrong here. The primary concern of everybody should always be whether or not Sophie is safe. And be careful not to get attached to the personality of either of the parties. There's a child at play here who is the most important person in this equation, with very close seconds being the siblings of the child who may also be in danger. But right now, the only indication we have is that Sophie is the one in danger. So, be vigilant and diligent in watching out for that. I would just caution that the most important person is Sophie, and not to get wrapped up in the allegations. It's, like I said, it's really easy to do, especially with things that are this salacious. So if we can get a hold of the documents, there will be more light shed on this. If there's another video that comes out, there will be, if the video is released, I will try and snatch it, before any takedowns. If you are able to snatch the video, please do so as well, just in case I'm not able to get it, and then we can go through whatever comes out from that hearing as soon as possible. So refresh the Instagram. Let me here we go. So this is Michael's YouTube, Charming Gypsy. So they've got some videos being posted here. Well, we could maybe check some of it. Live chat Wednesday, by the way, is being pushed to 3 o'clock today. It's being pushed to 3 o'clock today, and probably permanently. But we will still have it. Let's see. So here is Annie Elise. Her Instagram is here. Yeah, someone said to refresh hers, but there's nothing new there. So it's just this page, Charming Gypsy on YouTube. You can check it out. There are things there, and maybe I will start looking at some of these videos on a live stream tonight as well. There appear to be several total videos. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what's in these things. The Frisco PD body cam footage. That could be interesting, but I don't want to get too much. We're not here to exploit this child in any way. That's kind of a risk in these situations too. So we'll keep monitoring it. We'll keep watching it. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here because I don't want to just sit and babble on. Don't do anything that'll get you an active warrant in Texas. We're going to need you to head back down there if appeals are successful. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about that. One interesting thing is, as long as I don't facilitate the illegal recording or anything like that. As a journalist, I have First Amendment protections to go ahead and broadcast it, whether or not, again, as long as I didn't participate or solicit the illegal production of material, even if the material is supposed to be private and protected, the state of Texas has no jurisdiction over me. Look at her story, not her post. God, I hate Instagram. Just a second. Go there. How do I look at her story? How does that even work on here? Nope. Oh, here. 10 weeks? No. No. Okay. All right. Who uses Instagram? I've been in contact with the family all morning. This is too fast. Can you stop the... Let's see. The new judge. I hate Instagram so much. Court hearing will not be public, but I'll be sharing the recording of the hearing with you. Cannot share how. New audio and video of what has been happening has surfaced. I will share that as well. All right. So there you go, guys. That's what's going on there. I'll reach out to Annie Elsie or Annie Elise. God, I'll reach out to her and see if she would be interested in collaborating with me as well to kind of help me catch up on what's going on with this case. It is, again, it's a very important case because the safety of children is at stake. Click on the picture. Oh, is that of this one? Oh, neat. Oh, it's the worst site. Facebook, may you burn in the fiery pits of hell, along with anyone who abuses children for creating this disaster. Ugh. Okay. All right. Yes, make fun of me for being too old to understand Instagram. It's fine. I'm with it. Okay. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up this stream. Oh, thank you to Karina Barnett for joining at the paralegal level. I will consider, putting together a show on this tonight. If the video is put out, we'll see. I have to, it depends on what comes out, but we'll see what's going on with it as soon as I can. And again, in my eternal quest to get documents relating specifically to this case, if any of you are able to help me in that, please do so. Please do so. And if you have any other questions about what's going on or what's in the filings what's in the filing notes that we can see, happy to translate the legalese for you. So, reminding everyone how to join the Discord, please. I don't really want to do that on this stream, but if you join my Patreon or if you join my Subscribe Star, you can have access to the Discord community as well. It is a closed Discord community that I happen to like very much. So, but you can check that out on Patreon and Subscribe Star. This isn't supposed to be a shilling stream or anything like that. So please hope for the best for Sophie and keep watching on it, and I will keep watching as well. We'll talk to you guys. Chiaki Nanami. If you are subscribed at the top level, you do get Discord access. Subscribe on YouTube member on YouTube as at the top level. But I would prefer actually people do Patreon or subscribe. This is a lot of financial talk that I don't want to do on this one. I don't want to do on this stream. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Stay tuned for updates on the case as they are available. Peace. Peace.